from one white sedan to another. After owning my Chaser for 3 years, it was time to move on to something else. I ended up going with this 2009 model year 10 Lexus ISF. If you don't know much about these, they have a 5-litre V8 tuned by Yamaha, which is mounted to the world's first, at the time, 8-speed automatic with paddle shift. So I picked this one up with about 150,000 kilometres on it, in very good condition. It's a bit dirty at the moment. So a couple of people have pointed out that, oh, you've just bought a IS 250. Yeah, no. Completely different. Biggest differences is you've got your quad exhaust tips on the back there. Yes, they are fake. They're just a piece of the rear bumper, but there is actually exhaust gases coming through there. Another way to tell, very wide. So there's a vent here. Another misconception on these, which I had at the time as well, not actually for braking. It lets air from the engine, hot air from the engine, flow out through there. Front, another thing that gives away that it is an ISF, apart from my obvious number plate, 311 kilowatts. They have these massive brake ducts next to the fog lights on both sides, so they filter straight through to the discs, as you can see there. Another awesome thing about these factory Brembos, these things stop like you're hitting a tree. Alright, I'm going keyless entry. Okay, I didn't even lock it, but keyless entry. Have a look under the bonnet. Not as pretty under here as the Chaser with the 1J, because it's all covered up. So that's all pretty boring, but this example's quite clean. The only really amazing thing about this engine is the dual intake system at 3500 RPM. There's a flap in there somewhere, opens up and you get this great induction noise and she just screams. So that's the NA version of staying on the street. Come around to the inside. So F logos throughout. This car, by the way, completely standard at the moment, not modified. I haven't done a single thing to it, neither had the previous owner. Previous owner was the first owner. They bought it brand new for $132,000 Australian, and I pretty much paid $100,000 less for it, so bargain if you ask me. Getting inside, the seats are amazingly comfortable and they're in quite good shape too. The fake, well, it's not fake, but carbon everywhere, but in the white sort of colour. We've got a cup holder, another cup holder in there, quite dirty. Car hasn't been detailed yet. I've only had it less than a week still. That's the only modification, another cup holder. And you can even get drink bottles in the doors. Tweeters up in the doors. Speaker, big speaker in the middle there. Got all our sunroof controls up there. She's got heated seats as standard. Smoking stuff in there. Funny thing people also don't know, these are actually just a 4-seater. You can't actually sit in the middle in the back, which does not bother me at all. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and I'll turn it on and show you all the gizmos. In the F, key fob, So they got 2 of those. There's also a key card that you can put in your wallet that works exactly the same as these, but I don't particularly like to use it. Push button start. So when you get in, the steering wheel's in its upright position. Car's on. Usual crap on the screen. Now the cluster. Few different options you can scroll through here. So down here you've got your coolant, water temp, oil temp here, battery. Now you can hit the display button at the top. It will show your gear position is one of the options of the 8 gears that will run through them. Outside temp, your range, that's quite bad for various reasons. Quite bad. Don't expect much good fuel economy hammering this thing around. That's just your current, so that bar moves up and down. Average speed. Back to gear position. Now, when you move the car from park, so that's normal drive, just cruising. When you want to go into the full manual mode, if you move the shifter across to manual, of course it's not gonna do it now. There we go, I was on the wrong screen. The F logo comes up. So, and then you get your gear position down here, so you can focus on what's important and not look at your fuel economy while you're on track, because yeah, I can imagine it being quite bad. There's the paddle shifters. They're amazing feel, very clicky. Auto headlights, front and rear fog lights, auto wipers, rain sensing wipers. Couple of extra switches here on this side, and around here you got your traction control, snow mode, sport mode. Basically, if you want to have any fuel economy in this car, you need to have it on snow mode. It just limits the hell out of it. Sat nav's pretty basic, hasn't been updated in years, doesn't even have my state on here. Climate, audio, very basic system, but I mean, what do you expect for the time period it was made? So it's got CD, auxiliary, discs, amazing sound system. It sounds absolutely awesome, better than any aftermarket. Another thing you get to note, that this was definitely an MY10, because we didn't actually know when I first bought it. Blue bottom steering wheel with the F logo. Another thing with the MY10 that people mainly buy these cars for 2010 onwards, first ones to have the Torsen LSD, so this definitely has that in it. Yeah, that's about it for the interior. There's a lot of small subtle things with this car that just make it better than a lot of other cars I've owned. For example, like in here there's a little light, so you can sort of see what you're doing. Same with up here at night time, there's a little light here that shines on your hand so you can see what you're doing. When you put it in reverse, you've obviously got your camera, all that, and it all moves when you turn the steering wheel. But the mirrors also tilt down when you put it in reverse, so you can see the ground behind you. And yeah, that's about it with this car. I'm going to start to modify it soon. Tomorrow it's getting the wheels that were on the Chaser on it and some semi-slicks, and then we'll go from suspension, take it on the track early next year. So that's about it. I'll do a quick little POV drive in it and I was talking about, which is pretty cool to see what gear you're in going about your daily commute, just to see how it shifts through all 8 gears. And you've got your different modes. The snow just bogs it right down, which is awesome. Sport mode adjusts all the traction, steering settings, throttle response, all that sort of thing. And then it's got different ways to turn off the traction control and all that, so you can just, hit the button once, that's traction control off. But if you want full VSC off and everything, she's 5 seconds, I'm pretty sure. 2, 3, there we go. So that's full track, everything off sport, except you'd have it in manual, but I am driving. But we'll put them back on. So we'll just go down here and I'll give it a bit of a send where I sent the chaser. But we'll just get past the ditch, because the ditch got me last time. Alright, so this will be foot to the floor. There's also like an extra, when you get the pedal all the way down, there's an extra click you have to do to get full throttle, but you should be able to hear the intake open up here. So that's full throttle. And then hard on the brakes. Easy. What a machine. And yeah, then it just goes back to being comfortable, quiet, daily driven. That's all from this one. Probably have a modified video update in a couple of months' time. Let me know what you think. Cheers, guys. Also, I'd just like to say I apologise that these videos are so rushed and put together. It's usually something that happens where I go, oh, I'm about to change something major on the car, I better document how the car is in its stock form before I then go and ruin it, as I tend to do. So in the case of the first video, the chaser was going and it looked stock, but it was heavily modified underneath, whereas this one is actually stock and will be modified. So again, I'm sorry that these are so rushed and short and not even edited. I barely have any editing software anymore, and I'm literally just using my phone to film these. So up the one pass, and fuck you, Melbourne. What a horrible place to live. Bye.